Yeah, I'm Bob Cooper. I live in Harrowsville in San Jose Del Monte City, Philippines. I'm the only white man here in this village, which is cool. I told all the other white men to stay out of my village because I like it here. The people treat me like gold. I treat them all like platinum or better. I feed all the poor dogs, rice, chicken, anything I can come up with because they don't like dog kibble because they were raised on rice. I had the most awesome Halloween ever, handing out candy to the little kids, big kids, old people, all that. I had anywhere from coffee to candy to pesos to hand out. And if I would have had 10,000 American dollars, I would have handed out $20 bills all night long, but I didn't have that type of money. You know what I mean? Yep, if I was a rich motherfucker, excuse my effing words, I would have handed out 1,000 peso notes last night to all the children. If I'm here next year living above ground, I'm gonna go down to the bank and I'll go get big giant stacks of 100 peso notes and hand them out instead of candy. You know, and what I'll do is I'll get a dauber and I'll daub their hand with a mark, and so that I can see it even underneath black light. And I'll take a black light, a dauber that's invisible ink, and I'll put it on each child's hand so that they don't repeat. Because 100 pesos here is food for the day, and sometimes food for the week for the children. So, yeah, I had over 250 little visitors last night till we almost, I go to sleep early at night, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I still had door ringers at way beyond 9, 10 p.m. And I said, I had nothing left. I'm sorry, I have nothing left, because they know that I was handing out 20 peso coins on the end, and I was handing out my food and everything in my house, right down to my dog kibble, my rice. I would have, if I would have had bags of rice, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give a giveaway. I'm gonna save up for the giveaway for Christmas. For Christmas time, I'm going to give away flip flops for Christmas presents to everybody in the whole village. There's over 1,000 kids here. I don't need your help, people. I'm going to do it on my own. I could get flip flops for under $1 a piece. So I'm going to go out and go get 10,000 flip flops if I have to. I mean, I'm going to start out with like 100 flip flops for kids under the age of 12. And then the kids above 12, there's not very many of them here in this village. But, I'll get 50 pair of them, up to the size of 41. 41's the size for young teenagers and old men. And the Filipino people have small feet. Thank God they're not all ranges like in America, all the way up to 30, Uh, yeah, I had a blast last night, people. Tell you what, this is the place to come to be uh, mm, thankful that you're above ground. Thankful, very thankful to be above ground. I am so thankful to be above ground and be able to help all those kids last night. I gave away all my cereal. I gave away all my canned vegetables, fruits, and all that stuff right to the end. I was about ready to give away my socks. You know, like what can they use them for? But yeah, I gave away. I gave away almost everything in my house, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I had over 250 little visitors last night trick or treating, and it was awesome. It was the most biggest turnout I've ever seen in my life. In America, you might have one or two kids show up, and they're over 14 years old. No little babies, not like last night. Little babies last night were awesome. I love the Philippines. The people are so happy all the time. And these people have nothing. I mean, nothing. They live in little sheds, with cobwebs and spiders and all kinds of stuff. And I want to start doing things for people. I don't want your money in America. I want to do it all on my own. I could do it. I could manage it somehow or some way. So please support the Philippines. And this is a goodbye video. It's not uh, Americans knocking the Philippines. They just come over here. They rape all the Filipino women. They take advantage of the Filipino women to get to the families, to use and burn them, knock their kids up, knock their women up, and then they leave and go back to America and say, I knocked him up, I'm a daddy, and they don't have to support them. Well, you know what? To all you shitty Americans that come over to the Philippines and knock up these women and leave them hanging, just remember your children are eating rice and water.